Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. Look, I wanted to make a quick video for you all because I believe that the market manipulators are about to make their next move. I believe that over the last 2.5 days or so, they've been setting up a trap just to kind of see how the market would respond. And now they should have a general idea of what's going to happen, and they're going to make their next move over the next couple days. And so I just wanted to prepare you guys for that next move, give my thoughts on what I think is going to happen, and exactly what I'm doing to prepare for it. Now, I do need to make this quick. I'm on the move again, as you can tell, but as per usual, I'll keep you guys as updated as possible. So let's not waste any time at all, and let's get straight into it. So as you all know, Bitcoin's price has been absolutely getting battered over the last couple days, as it did fall, of course, from all the way up here around $116,000 to below $100,000 at one given point. Now, since that pullback that we saw a couple days ago, Bitcoin's price has actually done a decent job at recovering, pushing all the way back from $98.7 thousand back up towards $104,000 and settling right now around $103,000. So a decent recovery, but definitely not enough that I would say like we're out of the clear and that we're in the clear, and that we're in a very good spot. I would say we're in an okay spot. There's a spot for recovery right now, but I wouldn't be getting too ahead of myself. And I know I've been on Twitter joking around a little bit, don't get me wrong, but I am still being very, very cautious right now here in the crypto market. Now, the reason why I'm being so cautious is because of the fact that this is the exact sort of move that the market manipulators use in order to set a trap for retail investors. And the reason why I say that is because what you have to understand is that the market manipulators, their primary target, their primary goal in this market is to trap as many bulls and bears on both sides to try to capitalize on as many liquidations as possible. They don't even particularly have a short-term bias, I don't think. I think their long-term bias is they want crypto to go up because they have spot bags, right? But I think their short-term bias is I don't really think they care. They're like, we'll get shorts, we'll get longs, we'll get whoever. We don't care. Like they just want to stack up as much crypto as they possibly can. They want to scoop up as much of that supply as they can. And so you have to understand that they're constantly setting traps on both sides and just analyzing this market, saying, okay, what direction should we go in with this? That's at least my interpretation of what they do. And we've been studying them here on this channel for like 1.5 years straight now. So we have a good record of catching these things before they happen. Now, let me explain to you my thought process. Let me kind of tune into my lizard brain, right, and figure out what this general move could be, okay? So the reason why I say that they're about to set a trap is because every single time that we see a big move, a fast, volatile, violent move happen, we almost always see some sort of trap get set about 2 days or 3 days after, and then the following 4 or 5 days are almost always just as volatile as well. So what will oftentimes happen, let me just draw out an example for you, is Bitcoin's price may go up, or let's just say it's gonna go down, boom, and nuke straight to the downside. And as it nukes straight to the downside, it destroys all of these short traders all of these long traders who are, of course, betting that the market was going to go up. So all of these people, as it comes down, get liquidated. Now, if the price of Bitcoin, as it was falling, if we see the price of Bitcoin falling, and we see people now betting really big on short trades, where I'm talking about people start betting huge, oh, the bear market's here, oh, the price is going down, blah, blah, blah. What we'll notice is that from there, the market manipulators almost always look for that reversal. And it's not just them doing it, right? There is like natural, technical, and fundamental reasons as to why the market recover. You're going to typically see some oversold signals in this area right here. You maybe see that RSI get reset, whatever it may be. And then you're going to see a natural recovery. But we've seen the recoveries, for example, be much faster and more violent than they used to be because I believe that they're being injected with liquidity or in volume by these market manipulators. Boom. Anyway, so then we'll recover back to the upside. And then this is when things get really weird. Okay, this is when things get incredibly, incredibly weird. Because after they make this move to the downside and liquidate all these long traders, then they make this move to the upside and liquidate all these short traders. Now they sit back and watch. And there's a reason why in this exact moment, you're going to notice that Bitcoin's price will almost always just chill out. So it'll get right here and it'll just chill in this area for a day or two. Because what I believe they're looking for is, okay, what is this sentiment going to be? Is everybody going to still be absolutely certain that the bear market is here and open up even more short trades because they are certain that Bitcoin's price is going to fall from here? Or is everybody going to flip script? Is this going to be enough of a reversal to set a bull trap in which everybody's like, oh, the bottom's in, and then everyone's going to bet on huge long trades, and then from there, of course, the retail is expecting the price to go up, at which point the market manipulators will typically force it down, right? They're looking, it's like a bait, really. And that's a good way to think about it. This is just a bait. They want to see how people respond. And I believe we're in a moment like that right now where they're trying to see how do people respond. I think we, of course, saw the Bitcoin price fall below $100,000, which triggered a lot of people to say, oh my God, we're going to 90K. So a whole bunch of short trades hit the market. At one point, when we looked at the liquidation maps, dude, what we saw on the 7-day was insanity. Like the absolute shift. Actually, I can probably go over to my Twitter for a second. Yeah, I'll come back to this. Here, let me see if I can show you real quick, because this was crazy. See if I can find it. Where are we at? I've been posting a lot. My bad, boys. Here we go. Look at this, bro. This was the 30-day. Sorry, the 30-day was insanity. There was just nothing but liquidations above us, no liquidations below us. The second that we started to cross past $100,000, and so of course, naturally, when that happens, what do you expect is going to happen? Bitcoin's price rallies. It's just what it does in an instance like that, and then it recovered about $5,000 over the course of just a couple hours. Boom, pushed all the way back up towards the top side and smashed through all of those traders who bet big that Bitcoin's price wasn't going to get back above 100K. They all got destroyed. They basically all just got wiped out. And so now that move has happened and we've seen Bitcoin's price recover back up to above $100,000, now the bait is set. And I think what they're doing is they're just sitting back and watching. They got their little lizard fingers and they're just doing this exactly with their lizard fingers. And listen, I'm a lizard analyst, biologist, zoologist, enologist, and they do this just like lizards do that, right? And that's what I think they're doing. And they're sitting back and they're watching what is going to happen right here. And this is the play. And if I'm them, this is what I would do. Okay. So if in this instance, as Bitcoin's price tried to recover a little bit, right? If in this instance, everybody's tone changed, everybody just got real excited. Oh, boom, the bottom is in. We're going back up, blah, blah, blah. I would drop it again. And not only would I drop again, I drop it to 90,000. Smash them. Boom. I would just get it out the way. Okay. Because when this happens, everyone will be certain that the bear market is here. There will be 100% certainty. We saw about 90% certainty a few days ago. I think that triggers 100% certainty. From there, I think there's going to be about $30 billion worth of shorts that'll stack to the top side, and I would bounce from 90 and run that sucker all the way back up to like 115K into the macro liquidation zone and destroy absolutely destroy the market and just go from there. Okay, that's what I would do. Now, if everyone is not under the belief that we're seeing the crypto market recover, then what I would simply just do, maybe bring it back down one more time or so just to liquidate a couple people, and then I'd probably run it all the way back up to say 115K, 112K, just to reset and set the bait even higher. Because what I think they're trying to do right now is they're trying to make this recovery enough to bait people into going long to drop the market again and keep it in this range. And so if this isn't going to be enough of a recovery, they might need to push it back up even higher, back into the macro range in order to generate enough of that hype. Because what you will actually see is that we're not really seeing many long traders falling for it. Like you'll see some, right? There's about, on a 7-day for Bitcoin, there's about $3 billion worth of liquidations between here and 98K. If you go look at the 30-day, for example, there's some, right? There's like 2 billion between here and 96K. The 1-day does show some solid liquidations between here and 100K, about 1.5 billion, but people aren't really falling for it. People genuinely are not convinced that this bull market is going to be coming back. People still think the bear market is here, and that's even after yesterday, in which Trump was literally just shilling Bitcoin and shilling crypto throughout his entire conference, saying things like crypto takes pressure off the dollar and that he's going to make the United States the Bitcoin superpower, the crypto capital of the world. And sure, many people don't take Trump for his word anymore, and I do think that's reasonable because he has said many things and done other things when related to the world of digital assets recently. Now, in all due fairness, he has also done some great things for crypto. So it's just been a mixture of things back and forth. And so the market doesn't really respond super well to him saying things like that. But the fact that we're not even really seeing many people at all expecting and anticipating that this is a good thing for crypto tells me that the likelihood of them nuking on us right here is getting, I would say it's decently low. It's possible, it's decently low because there's not going to be much incentive for them to do it. What would have to happen is that some sort of massive market maker or something would have to just dump onto the market, like a Wintermute or a Binance or whatever. They need to just dump onto the market in order for us to see a move of that nature. I think that's the only reason we go down to say $90,000 over the next week is if that happens. And the good part is we can watch the charts. We can watch, of course, the on-chain activity to see if they start sending big chunks out. Then obviously you can expect that larger move to happen. But again, even if that does happen, I still do think there's a reasonable chance that we do see Bitcoin's price hard recover back up to say 110 to 115 just because of the liquidation maps. I mean, you have to consider what we're seeing on the 30-day. Even though the market's recovered a little bit, people are still convinced. They are absolutely convinced that the bear market's here, and there are billions of dollars worth of available liquidations to the top side in order to be smashed through. And so to me, it's one of those situations where it's like we don't have much incentive to the downside unless someone just spot sells. Like they would just have to sell into the market and drop a ton of supply on the market. Without that, there's not enough a ton of incentive on the market for me to reasonably understand why we would get a drop back down to 90K. It's dry there. I don't really see a reason for that, okay? And so that's kind of my bias here is I actually do think that there's a chance, a 25-30% chance that some major entity drops, Bitcoin into the market because they have been selling a decent bit, and that gets us to 90K. But if that doesn't happen, I do think the market does have a bias upwards. I do think there's more incentive upwards for this market to go up. And, so even if we do drop to 90 or we don't drop to 90, I think it's very reasonable to say that we'll probably get a move up to like 110, 112, 115. But that's totally a guess. I literally could be wrong. And I guess, yeah, the bear market could be here, and we're not going to get those more macro recoveries because we don't have enough buying volume. That's possible. I'm not convinced of that yet. I'll be convinced of that if we go to 90 and we don't bounce. Like if we go to 90, we don't bounce and we just kind of flat range there, then I'm convinced that things are changing. We don't have enough buy volume. Bull market could be coming to an end. I'll be convinced at that point. I'm just not convinced quite yet, right? And so I'll keep you updated as it plays out. And do remember, I'm just somebody who's just giving a guess here like everybody else, but this is kind of what I'm seeing. And I do believe that they're setting a trap for us actively right now that we need to be watching closely. And so knowing that this trap is set, let me kind of pivot into talking about what I am doing personally right now, not only with Bitcoins, but with altcoins, because I do have a bit of a plan put in place in order to hopefully capitalize on this market, basically no matter what happens, okay? So let's go from the bottom up. From the very bottom, I'm not really doing a ton with microcaps right now. The only thing you have seen me talking about in terms of the world of microcaps is IMO, just because they are releasing a very big piece of news in about 4 days or so. So I don't remember when they said it, but they've been hinting basically. So IMO has been hinting a lot about November 10th. They're saying that there's a really big announcement. There's a lot of speculations that there's going to be an exchange listing or something like that. And we have seen the chat mention that they think that this will bring a lot of intrinsic value to the actual token itself, which is a good thing. Now, if you don't know what IMO is, again, I've talked about it a lot over on Twitter. Feel free to go check that out. But in general, they're a real estate investment company that's dealing with the world of RWA here in crypto. And they have a very simple business model, very easy, very simple. What they do is they acquire real estate, they generate income from that real estate, and then invest some of the income that they generate back into their token and back into their ecosystem to, of course, reduce the supply and increase their intrinsic value. Now, they're only around a $15 million market cap or so, but by the end of the year, they're already going to have 7 income generating properties, which, I mean, is insane compared to the fact that there are $50 to $100 million RWA tokens that don't have any properties or any actual real world assets, which is crazy because it's an RWA coin, right? Or token. And so because of that, I think that it's a great opportunity. And I've told you guys this multiple times again over on X that I think it's a great opportunity. So I'm watching very, very closely what happens, especially over the next couple of days as we get close to November 10th. I don't know what this news is, but I do have some connections to their team. So I want to know, I want to find out, but they're not releasing anything. And so we'll keep a close eye on this to kind of see how it goes. They have been doing some buybacks and stuff, thousands of dollars worth of buybacks. So they've been active, they've been moving. So that's the only crypto that I'm paying attention to in terms of the world of microcaps right now. The rest I'm just leaving alone. Now, when we go back up to our major altcoins, okay, I'm not doing a ton right now, but I am buying on the really bad days still, and that is kind of my game plan. But remember, right now in a moment like this, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, SUI, XLMH bar, whatever, all those big alts, I only buy them based on what Bitcoin's doing. So if I think Bitcoin is in a buying opportunity, I'll buy my altcoins, but I will not buy my altcoins independent of Bitcoin because Bitcoin's in control of the market. So for example, when Bitcoin's price was dumping and it came down into this liquidity zone between 103 and $99,000, I was like, hey, this is a buy zone. Like, this is a general buy area, especially as the daily RSI got close to oversold. So what did I do? I went in and I was buying Bitcoin. But when I bought Bitcoin is when I bought altcoins. So you see how I did some buying on Bitcoin at 101 and that triggered the purchases on ETH and Sol? It's the same thing. Same thing. When Bitcoin hit 99,000, I tapered off on Sol. Not worried about that one. The lower we go, boom, now I'm just going to buy some ETH at 3,100. Now, gladly, both of these purchases are up a little bit right now. Not a ton, but you can kind of get the picture. I'm only buying alt or major alts when Bitcoin's price is in a buying position, and I don't actually think that it's in a buying position right now. I don't like to buy in moments like this where I think that the whales, the lizard people, the market manipulators, when they're setting traps. I don't like engaging with that because it's just dangerous to buy right now, right? I think we're either about to see, like, okay, we just did some purchases at the bottom of this dip, right? So like when Bitcoin hit like $99,000, that's when I bought. I don't remember exactly what the price was. It was $99,050. So I nearly caught the bottom by like $300 of this move right here. So to me, it's like, okay, I got my purchases off at the bottom of this. There's no point in buying right now because what's either going to happen is we're going to recover and we're going to really start to try to push back up to say 114. I think we could possibly see Bitcoin's price come back up, break through this trend line, or maybe run back up to this trend line. Boom. Maybe kind of work at it a little bit here, break above it, come back up and try to push all the way back up to like 115 or something, at which point I would be taking profits off the table. And I've told you guys that 115 area is a profit taking zone because that's where whales are selling at, right? And you guys can see it. I did some selling myself at that level the last time we got there, and I don't remember exactly when that was, so I don't want to waste your time. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so as Bitcoin's price hit $115,000, you can say we took profits off the table because we know that's where the market manipulators have been taking profits themselves. And so yeah, if we push back up to 115, I'm gonna take a little bit of profit off the table. Or Bitcoin's price is gonna just nuke because someone's just gonna dump supply on the market, at which point I get a great buying opportunity at like 90,000. So to me, it's like, okay, I'm either about to get to take profit at 115 or I'm gonna get to buy a lot at 90. So I'm in an in-between phase right now. I don't feel the need to be purchasing. I'm just going to sit back and see what happens. And so that then applies to my alts. I'm going to sit back and wait moment. Okay. So maybe we'll have to get through the weekend to see how things play out throughout the weekend because volume should drop and it'll be harder for the market manipulators to move this price around. So we'll kind of see what happens and how it plays out, but I'll keep you updated. But the primary takeaway from this video, what I want you to go back to the bank with, is the fact that we are now in the trap. The bait is now set, and they're waiting and watching to see how the market responds to make their next move. I think there is a bias to the upside, that's the more likely area that they'll go to. But if we start to see Wintermute or Binance or whoever starting to dump supply on the market, a move back down to $90,000 could be very, very possible, at which point I still expect a recovery back upwards. So I am still favoring a bias upwards. I am still favoring some sort of recovery rally back to the upside. And if we don't get one, that is very concerning, and that will start to change my general thesis about this market. Okay, so again, I'm just a guy speculating, so please don't take my word as law. This is just my opinion. This is just how I feel about the market as a random dude in a hotel room making YouTube videos. So that's where we are. I hope you guys have been enjoying the content that we've been posting recently, and I hope you all have a great day. See you all in the next one. Bye, everybody.